Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a blockbuster finding. And I have to thank this YouTuber right here for putting out this video that informed me about C40 Cities. I'm going to go ahead and leave the link to this gentleman's YouTube channel on a pinned comment, along with all of the links of everything that I've found about C40 Cities. It is a lot worse than what I thought. Remember that one comment that I got on a video a while ago? I said something about this was all planned, and someone says, how dare you say it was all planned? This wasn't all planned. Ladies and gentlemen, they've been working on this since 2005. And what this is a way to treat us like cattle, to push us out of the countryside and put us in urban environments so that we can be easier to control. I've stated this in the past, that people that are in big cities will be easier to control because who controls the inflow and outflow, right? The system does, the state. Let me stop going on a rant here. I'm going to read this to you. I'm going to go through this with you the best that I can, but I'm going to leave the link to everything so that you can check it out yourselves. And you're going to be surprised as to how many of these C40 cities there are around the world. Now, what is C40? About C40. C40 is a network of mayors of nearly 100 world-leading cities collaborating to deliver the urgent action needed right now to confront climate crisis. Together we can create a future where everyone and everywhere can thrive. But wait until you hear how it is that they plan on creating this utopian future. Now let me ask you a question before I continue. If you voted for a mayor in your city, did they talk about C40 cities? Did they tell you what they were working on? Because this has been going on for nearly 20 years. And their goal is 2024, ladies and gentlemen. C40 mayors have been at the forefront of climate leadership for 15 years. This was probably written a couple years back, but it was since 2005. Driving the conversation around climate action and environmental justice. Listen to this, environmental justice, to place these issues front and center in our local policies and international agenda. Do you understand this? That this is a force behind your mayors that was never elected by you the people, i.e. we the people. I went ahead and highlighted the parts that I felt I wanted to talk about. However, please come and take a look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, share this video. People need to know about this. And do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, if you find value in these videos, let them play all the way through. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. I don't ask this very often, but please give this video a like. The more likes that it has towards the beginning of the video, and the more people that watch it all the way through, the more that the YouTube algorithm will catch it and push it to other viewers. All right, so I appreciate if you do that, and it does help the channel if you watch it all the way through, ladies and gentlemen. This is very important. In 2005, C40 was founded. The mayor of London, Ken Livingstone, convened representatives from 18 megacities, and I'm going to show you all of the cities around the world that are involved with this right now. To forge an agreement and cooperatively reducing climate pollution and create the C20. All right, and here in 2006, it says, that year, President Bill Clinton's climate initiative, CCI, became our implementing partner on world-class climate action projects. So it all started there with President or ex-President Bill Clinton. In 2007, the mayor of New York City, Michael R. Bloomberg, hosted the second C40 summit. In 2009, Mayor of Toronto and C40 Chair David Miller convened C40 member cities at the 2009 UN climate talks in Copenhagen. Why are they convening these meetings in the UN? Did you elect anyone that's in the UN, ladies and gentlemen? Or maybe you thought you did not, but in reality you did. In 2010, Mayor of New York City, Michael R. Bloomberg, was elected chair of the C40. Anyone here that was in New York City in 2010 knew that Mayor Michael Bloomberg, was the chair of the C40? Did anybody know that a C40 committee even existed and what their plans were? Did you know about that before you voted for him? During his tenure, he pioneered C40's data-driven approach, and he has continued working to expand C40's impact in the global climate fight. 2011 to 2015, CCI's City Program is what I highlighted here, and I want to show you what CCI Cities Program is. Charter Cities Institute is what it stands for. Empowering new cities with better governance. Better governance, ladies and gentlemen. But better for who? And who establishes what the governance will be? To lift tens of millions of people out of poverty. It sounds great, doesn't it? Here it says climate change and rapid urbanization. Right, so I'll read the entire paragraph here. It's only 3 lines. The CCI is a nonprofit dedicated to creating the ecosystem for charter cities, founded on the idea that a fresh approach was necessary to tackle humanity's most pressing challenges, such as global poverty, climate change, and rapid urbanization. All right. We believe charter cities, new cities granted a special jurisdiction to create new governance system, Why do we need a new governance system? Maybe we need different people in the offices besides the people that hold those offices now. But who says we need a new governance system, either here in the United States or anywhere else in any other nation? Did you vote for that? And how are they going to do that? Well, the solution is by improving governance through deep regulatory and administrative reforms. You understand this? They've been working on this since 2005. You see, you cannot destroy energy. You can only transfer it from one place to another. And to me, this seems a lot like what I was talking about the other day with the pharmaceutical or prescription drugs. Whereas here in the United States, we pay, let's say, $100 for a pill of drug A. In another country, that exact same pill maybe cost $1, right? But they come from the exact same manufacturer. So what the United States is doing here in other first world nations that are considered rich, even though we're not rich or wealthy, is that we're subsidizing those other drugs for the other nations. So here they're talking about bringing people out of poverty, and it all sounds great, but what they don't say is how are they going to do it? Well, actually, they do say it here, through deep regulatory and administrative reforms. What's that? More taxes and more laws, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take a look at 2018. C40 Mayors made a series of bold pledges to reduce emissions and deliver on 2030 targets. Did you know that your mayors, whatever your mayors are, do you know if they're part of this 2030 target? Well, you're going to know here in a minute because I'm going to show you the cities of those mayors that are involved in this. Through green and healthy transport, anybody think of California? They're trying to get rid of what? Yes, they're trying to get rid of cars, regular internal combustion engine cars, even though electricity that's imported into California, because they won't even drill their own gas, is fueled with natural gas, with oil, with coal, right? Zero waste, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this utopia. I mean, have you ever seen the movie Avatar? That's what I think about when I hear this. It's something that is so out there that it's impossible. Zero waste, net zero carbon buildings, and equitable climate action. Equitable climate action. What in the world does that mean? Equitable climate action. You know what it means? It means whatever they want it to mean. That's exactly what this is about. It's building a brick wall of rules and regulations that you have to follow, and they can change the rules anytime they want because they have no definitions. In 2019, Mayor Garcetti launched the C40 Global Youth Initiative, and I believe Mayor Garcetti is out of the city of LA, I believe, but he's been involved in this all the way since 2019 and probably before that. Now listen to this, 2021 to 2025, this is their plan. C40's leadership standards for 2021 through 2024 went into effect, setting an ambitious standard for C40 cities to ensure that they are on the path of zero carbon future. Global Mayors Task Force on Climate and Migration to address the impact of the climate crisis on migration in cities. Listen, the climate crisis of migration in cities. And the first of its kind, Global Youth and Mayors Forum, and we're going to get to what Global Youth and Mayor Forum is, which brings together youth climate leaders and mayors to work together on shaping the vision of a global Green New Deal. C40 and our cities also played an important role at the UN Climate Conference in COP26, where Mayor Eric Garcetti of California passed the C40 chair. So he was the C40 chair for a time being, baton to Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. And it was announced that more than 1,000 city and local governments around the world have joined cities' race to zero. The C40 Global Mayors Task Force on Climate Change and Migration. And I just went ahead and highlighted in red here that our mayor from Houston is part of this as well. Let's see, the task force of mayors are motivated by the various challenges that their cities face. Some have faced the realities of climate displacement into and within their cities. Others have experienced large movements of people that were not driven by climate factors and hold valuable lessons for approaching a future of greater human mobility. And I'll finish it off with this before I go on to the next one. Task force mayors are focused on making their city's green transition just and inclusive, using climate action to advance the social and economic inclusion of migrants and other marginalized community. You understand what they said there? Using climate action, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that are still on the hook with this climate change thing, guess what? The climate changes every single day. It's done so for the entirety of the Earth's life. But they are using it against useful idiots in order to get what they want passed, because it's for the greater good, right? You'll find out here soon enough if they get through all of this stuff, if it was for the greater good. It's going to be for the greater good, all right, but the greater good of who? Our cities around the world, C40 mayors and the cities they led are taking ambitious, collaborative, and urgent climate action that aligns with science-backed targets. They work together across borders in order to protect people and communities everywhere and build a more sustainable, resilient, and equitable future. I'm not even going to go into the equity thing, okay? But check this out. Right now, these are all of the cities that are involved in this, or these are all of the mayors around the cities around the world that are involved in this. And I'm going to concentrate here in the U.S., all right, but there's obviously some in Canada as well. Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Guadalajara, so that's in Mexico. Who else do we have here? Mexico City, Austin, Houston, New Orleans, Miami. In Miami, DeSantis, you need to get onto this. You need to get onto this, DeSantis. Chicago, Toronto, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Boston. A lot of these places that I just mentioned, they have something in common, but I'll keep that to myself. But take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. They are working behind the scenes in order to treat us like cattle, in order to get us into urbanized, tight spaces so that you can live in a little space with your family the size of my bunker, 120 square feet. That's what they're working on, ladies and gentlemen, right? And they're using climate as a backdrop. Why? Because the children that have been raised, they've been propagandized. What do you think that Mayor's Youth Action Group is, that CCI? That's what it's for, is so that they can shape the minds of these young people who will be the leaders of tomorrow into thinking that we have a problem when we really don't. The real problem we have is with these people that are trying to make us live the way that they want us to live, so that they can sit atop and look at their peasants as they just struggle to make a living. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish it off for real with this, but take a look at the date, February 7th of 2023. Let's date it, okay? It's time to rapidly scale up financing for climate adaptation in cities. And look at this. COP27 took an important step toward achieving climate justice by establishing a loss and damage fund in which the countries most responsible for the climate crisis agreed in principle to compensate the countries experiencing the worst impact. So, you know, here's what's behind that thing that we saw from COP27, where John Kerry went up there and said, yeah, I think we ought to pay reparations for the climate to countries that are, you know, that are not as rich as ours, I guess. You know, that are less developed than ours, because it's our fault. It's our fault that they're less developed than ours because of the climate, and we put so much CO2 in the climate while he's riding around in his private jet. The world's richest countries have not yet paid the full $100 billion a year in climate finance promised to the global south by 2020. So we haven't paid that yet. Great. The United Nations Environment Program estimates that the cost of adaptation alone, now listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, is this where you want your tax dollars going to? The cost of adaptation alone will be between $160 to $340 billion per year. Per year, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a good day. I am going to do a fun video today, actually, but I came across this. Make sure you go check out that original video because it's very informative. I try to cover some different things than what that gentleman covered over there, but go give him some props for checking this out, and I'm just glad that I came across it so I can share with more people. And if you have a YouTube channel, do a little bit of research into this. I'm going to leave the links all on a pinned comment. Go ahead and put up a video about this as well. As many people that know about this, the better, right? Especially those people that live in those cities that they have no idea that their mayors are colluding with globalists. Have a great day. I'm not sure if I'll have that fun video up later on this evening or I'll put it up for tomorrow morning, but it's going to be a fun video, so be on the lookout for that. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. God bless America. God bless you all, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.